Marine Reacts to Helsreach Part 10 by Richard Boylan. As always, I'm going to be leaving a link to the original video and channel down in the description below, so go ahead and make sure that you check them out. So a little recap on Part 9. We saw that Grimaldis was going out to go see where the secret weapon was. I found out it's called Oberon. They're working on getting it open. On their way back, they're seeing that Hades actually got hit by a meteor, as Commissary Garrick was predicting at the beginning. I saw from the comments from Part 9, I haven't responded to them yet fully. I plan on doing that after this video. That this was because they had previously lost to Hades, so the orcs were kind of pissed off about it and decided to throw a meteor at it. So on the way back, we saw they had a little bit of turbulence. They almost went down. Luckily, they were able to pull back up. I'm really hoping in this next little section that we start to see some of the Titan and see how Prince Majoris is going to handle the situation, hopefully. But let's go ahead and get to the actual video. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe. It really does help me a lot. Hit that notification bell right there. You get notified every time I do upload. Sometimes I'll play them twice a day. Now working on them in the evenings and then releasing them early the next day. That way when you all wake up, you have a fresh video first thing in the morning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what Helsreach Part 10 has in store for us.
When the wall is first breached, it dies in an avalanche of pulverized rockcrete.
Real quick, right off the bat, holy shit, dude, the animation is just literally, it's not even making little progressive moments in its animation. It's literally making leaps and bounds every single part. And also, just quick again, I'm going to say this for a little while, for the next couple weeks, just to make sure everyone's fully understanding that there's certain parts that are muted, cut out at certain moments. Just know that that was due to a copyright claim on the music being used. It's happened a little bit, but not a whole lot. But just in case that does happen, that's the reason.
Hey, this is better than sitting on our asses in the desert, yes? Yes, it is. That's what I think.
Be quiet.
Real quick, I really like this Russian-sounding guy. So they're not in the desert anymore, from what he just said. So they're not in the area that they were guarding. I'm hoping they got more people with them, because I mean, just going out in teams of 2. I mean, it's not even technically a full fire team. At least in today's world, there's be about 4 people. And the Imperial Guard, obviously not being like, especially augmented as the Space Marines, I feel like, and also I've seen that their strength also comes from their numbers as well. So, hoping it's just not them two by themselves.
HQ, this is Damaska. Tank destroyed. Most likely part of the second group that passed you an hour ago.
Scout Team 3, proceed as instructed with all due caution.
Ready, Andre?
I have 3 dead packs left, okay? 3 more tanks must die. Then I get that caffeine the captain promised.
And also, real quick, was that little baby thing with wings, was that supposed to be like a symbolic of the bomb or the debt charge that he had? Or because I feel like it's going to come into play, because they obviously showed it for a reason, but I'm not exactly sure what that reason is going to be, though.
Brother, the Crone of Invigilata requests your presence. I am in prayer,
I know Reclusiarch. Did she request my presence, Arterian? No, Reclusiarch. She, demanded it. Inform Invigilata I will attend Princeps Zaha within the hour, once my ritual observations are complete. I do not believe she is in the mood to be kept waiting, Grimaldis. Nevertheless, waiting is what she will do.
Okay, so this Grimaldis is obviously not a yes man, and I don't think any of the Black Templars are. But that's also one of the key things that previous squad leader also taught us that were in his squad personally, was that don't be a yes man. I mean, are there going to be times where things just make sense? Then yeah, but if someone tells you to do something, obviously it's stupid, don't do it. And also, I'm very curious. I know the meme is this, like, with the Black Templars, if you're not praying every second of the day, you know, you're going at the airlock, as Brecky said. But does anyone know, like, I mean, obviously they do it before battle, but does anybody know, like, is it in terms like, hey, they do it 3 times a day, and then they'll do it, say, if they're going into battle or for whatever other reason, but is there like a set time or moment when they do it, or did they do it on the free time? You know, things like that. Like, when exactly are they doing the prayer?
I need more time, Grimaldis.
You ask for the one thing I cannot give.
This might take me months, perhaps years. As the code evolves, it breeds sub-ciphers that, in turn, require dedicated cracking. It breeds like an ecology. Always changing, reacting to my intrusions by evolving into more complex systems.
I want that cannon, Jerisian. Bring it to me.
Hold on, I gotta hear that again. I think he said cannon, but I'm not sure.
I want that cannon, Jerisian.
So it's a cannon. Okay, so it's not a ship. All right. So form of artillery. And as far as him talking about the code or the coding or like what he's trying to do to actually get in there, it seemed a little AI-ish when he said that it would continuously, like, it's living like an ecology. I think that's what he said. And he talks about how it's making all these little sub-ciphers that he has to continuously try to crack. So, sounds a little AI.
Bring it to me.
As you will, Reclusiarch.
Damn, I'm pausing a lot more than I thought I was going to be doing, but the moment, like, you know, when you say, like, hey, this might actually take me, like, weeks, months, maybe even years, and then he's like, obviously that's one thing they can't afford right now, you know, because the Orcs are already there, but then he says, bring it to me, right? So, very reminiscent of the Marine Corps, but also, I would assume every other branch, just like, that type of mentality. I'm pretty sure you've all heard this if you've been in, that, hey, you better figure it the fuck out, right? So, it's like, I had one instance, we came back from the field, we were training, we came back on a, was it a Thursday afternoon, and then Chow Hall was closing, and then, I mean, obviously, it was a team leader, and obviously he was joking, saying, like, hey, Martinez, I want to go get Chow so we got to hurry up, clean our rifles, and put her away, and put our gear away so we can get off and then go get Chow. And then I was like, that's dependent on everybody else, Lance Corporal or like the Armory, and it's like, well, you better figure it out. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just control fucking time. But I mean, yeah, obviously it's like, you better figure it out. No excuses, essentially.
You requested my presence?
No. I summoned you. You should be staying where you stand.
That would be an unwise solution. No one in this room is capable of wounding me.
I see you do not show your face this time, Knight. You see me revealed, yet you hide behind the death mask of your Emperor.
Our Emperor. Let us tread carefully, you and I will answer the questions you have regarding D16 West.
Tell me why you have done this.
It is the Ordinatus Armageddon. It is one of the greatest weapons ever wielded by man. This is a war, Zaha. I need weapons to win it.
Necessity is not enough. You may not harness Oberon on a whim, Grimaldis.
The Master of the Forge will determine that for himself.
You do not understand. The sacred war platforms must be blessed by the Lord of the Centurial Ordinatus. Their machine spirits would be enraged without this appeasement. Oberon will never function. Do you not see?
The only reason the Mechanicus is not committing one of its greatest weapons to the war to save this world is because it remains unblessed.
Yes. The soul of the machine will rebel. If it even awakens, it will be wrathful.
It grieves me to ignore your wishes, Princeps, but I will not have Jurizian cease his ministrations.
Grimaldis, I am ordered by my superiors to see you dead before you continue this course of action.
Dude, holy shit. There's a lot of fucking tension right now in the room, especially when he barely walked in there. And he said, you requested me? And he's like, no, I summoned you. And then he talked about, Prince Majoris ended up talking about how he should be slain right on the spot. And he's like, literally just goes, all right, then who here is fucking gonna do it? Dude, oh my god. All right, so Grimaldis is, at this point, really is one of my top favorite characters, at least in the whole 40K universe. And, I mean, as of right now, I mean, obviously, they could change with the more I get into the lore, but it's like, something about him, his no shit taking attitude. I wonder if there's going to be any more friction, like actual physical friction. As far as it being blessed, I wonder how exactly that is going to affect it later on, if they do manage to get it open.
This can only end one way.
My Princeps,
Yes, Varian.
we're getting Auspex returns. 4 heat signatures inbound from directly above. The city's wall guns are not tracking them.
No. The city defenses wouldn't shoot down 4 of my Thunderhawks.
Grimaldis, no.
My Princeps, forget him. We demand orders at once.
If you try to raise the shields and prevent my attempt to leave, I will order my gunships to open fire on this bridge. Your void shields will never rise in time.
You would kill yourself?
I would. And you. And your Titan.
I said when last we met that you had kind eyes.
I remember.
It is true, but I regret it. I regret ever speaking a fair word to you, blasphemer.
Insurance policies, man. Always gotta have kind of your ace in the hole, or like just a little card up your sleeve. And dude, the fact that he's just willing to die in that scenario, when Prince Majoris said that he saw, or she saw kind eyes in him, and still does, but regrets saying it, really starts to develop more of the character. I mean, obviously I haven't heard like a lore piece yet on him, on Grimaldis specifically, but I feel like getting a lot from, well, I mean, technically this is from an audiobook, so technically that is lore. So, never mind. I'm actually learning quite a bit about him as a person, at least.
Hades may burn, but it burns because the enemy fears us. It burns to hide the enemy's shame, so they need never look upon the place where they lost the last war. while the walls of Helsreach stand. While one defender draws breath, the city will never
Holy shit. And just looking at the wall, the amount of explosive firepower that would have been needed to take that down.
Sons of Dawn! Knights of the Emperor! Charge! Arterian suffers more than the rest of us. He sacrifices one hand to hold my banner aloft. The standard draws the enemy to him. They want our banner. They always do. That the greenskins raise their titans as idols to their strange piggish gods.
That was another thing. Someone also mentioned that even the orcs have their own titans. Now, I also thought that, hey, I understand the banner. It's like, can't you like attach it to your back or something? But then again, he's holding on to it. Seems to be the one that has to really, I guess, be on his toes, because his obviously he's not going to be using one of those hands, and it's going to draw the enemy, kind of like in an RPG game, right, where you kind of draw the enemy towards you. So in a way, it could give the, because he said that the enemy is always trying to grab their banner, that it could also kind of lead them into a trap, or at least have them draw to one area so that they can, like, say, for example, fire upon them. But it's about a minute left. And I was really hoping to see some Titan action, but that might happen in the next one.
That would explain why they're so hideous. Engine kill?
Let's go ahead and talk about that for a minute. Now, only two things I really wanted to hit on. One of them was the one with the banner. I mean, I understand it, but if there was a way to just have it be on his back, I did mention it during the video, but I feel like that would just allow him to be more effective, and technically he's not dropping it on the ground. Could still attract the orcs to him. Obviously, a lot of pride as well. But I mean, besides that, the scene where he's inside the Titan again, talking to Prism Majoris, and just the tension in the room, something about it really gets you excited and wants you to watch more. Now, also just giving more in-depth version of just the Black Templars in general, but also Grimaldis. The fact that he's just like a sacrifice myself like that. Which I understand that the Black Templars are about that. And that you can actually also see just how much power one Space Marine can have. When he mentions no one in here can do anything to me, something about that line really sets in. It's like they really can't. And then obviously if they do try to do anything to him, I mean, at a certain point he's just going to be defending himself technically, right? So wipes out people in there, he starts taking away essentially the crew, to be able to pilot the Titan, which I believe was about 100 people or 100 beings that are required to actually help make it run. And also, I lied. There's actually a third thing that I wanted to hit on was when he was about to give that speech and you're getting all pumped up because it's kind of like how I was doing it. But then all of a sudden, wall gets broken down and it's just like, he's essentially like, well, fuck it. Let's get it, right? And then go just straight into fucking battle. Now, that kind of adaptability, those reactions, just that natural instinct, like, well, they're right here. Let's go. But really excited to kind of see what's going to happen in part 11. Finally get some Titan action going on. Obviously, it had a little bit where they took out the orc one, but I want to see more of it. I mean, that and also Grimaldis, and just see a little more hand-to-hand combat. And just the graphics, man. The animation, it's getting insane every single part now. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe. It really does help me a lot. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. It helps me for the channel. If you're curious to see what's coming up next, check the description down below. You're going to see a list of about 5 videos. Top to bottom, it's going to be how I view them. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.